The next morning, I checked the hospital's Google reviews out of habit. My heart sank as I saw a slew of new negative reviews, all posted within the last 24 hours. They were filled with baseless accusations, painting me as an incompetent and uncaring doctor who refused to treat patients for personal reasons. One read, "He refused to help his own family member in need. If he can do that to his own family, imagine what he'll do to strangers." Another read, "Beware. He prioritizes his personal grudges over patient care." The reviews were all anonymous, but I had no doubt they were made by Mike. Later that day, as I was walking out of the hospital, I saw Mike waiting near my car. I had enough. I told him that this had to stop now. He had crossed every line imaginable. He tried to paint me as the bad guy, saying that none of this would have happened if I had just performed the surgery on him. He said I brought it upon myself. I realized then that trying to reason with Mike was pointless. I got in my car and drove off. That night, Mike started posting on social media about me and the practice. He made posts about me being a bad person and an unfit doctor who cut corners. They even went as far as to say that I was purposefully neglecting a family member in need. Over the next few weeks, patients began to question my abilities, and my colleagues grew anxious. The smear campaign was taking a toll, not only on my career but also on my mental health, especially after I finally got my name cleared up from the accusations just years ago. One evening, after a hard day at the hospital, I sat Jessica down in our living room. I told her that I couldn't do the harassment anymore and that they were destroying my reputation. For my peace of mind, I had to remove her sister and brother from my life. Her face was pale as she asked me to explain. I told her that I couldn't go to family functions acting happy with them while they were in the street slandering my name and almost costing me my career twice. Her sister and brother still had Jessica wrapped around their finger. She said that she couldn't choose between me and her family, and that it wasn't fair that she had to make that decision. I told her that I'd give her a couple of days to make her decision. She said she didn't need that. She told me she loved me, and that she understood how much it hurt me to face them. She ultimately chose me. However, the decision didn't stop her sister Linda and brother Mike. They turned their harassment towards Jessica. They accused her of being disloyal and cold-hearted. They called her repeatedly, sent hateful messages, and even showed up at her workplace, causing scenes and disrupting her life. Then, out of nowhere, an anonymous email landed in my inbox. It contained screenshots of conversations between Mike and another family member, revealing a plan to ruin my career if I didn't agree to the surgery. I was shocked, but not surprised. It was the final nail in the coffin. I showed Jessica the email. She couldn't believe that they would go that far, but I knew firsthand how vicious Mike was. This didn't surprise me, but I knew I had to put an end to it. Jessica decided to confront her family. She arranged a meeting with Linda and Mike and brought the screenshots with her. They thought that she was meeting with them to give them the news that I agreed to do the surgery, but they quickly realized what the meeting was about when I joined her and laid the papers on the table. The confrontation was heated. Mike denied everything at first. But when faced with the proof, he became defensive. Jessica asked Mike why he would do such a thing when I did nothing to him, and he said that I was never good enough for Jessica and that I was weak. I guess this was his plan to show her that. She always placed Mike as the number one guy in her life for years since he was her little brother, and now he just seemed jealous because he didn't have her attention anymore. After Mike's doings were affecting her personal life, she realized how destructive they really were and how her sister was an enabler this entire time. She decided to cut them off as well, blocking their numbers and social media accounts. Jessica and I were left to deal with the emotional fallout. We had hoped that cutting ties would bring peace, but instead, it left a void that was hard to fill. Jessica struggled with guilt and sadness after losing her relationship with her family, while I tried to put together the broken pieces of my professional reputation and deal with stress from the ordeal. In the weeks that followed, Jessica and I focused on rebuilding our lives. I sought therapy to help cope with the stress and trauma of the past months while Jessica leaned on a support group. My colleagues eventually started to see me for what I really was and not the Mike narrative that was going around.